Hey everyone, and welcome back to City Sowers. We are counting down the days, literally the days left until our goat Betsy has babies. Obviously it's a little different having me open up everything today for you, but I wanted to kind of just fill you in real quick. This last week has been a lot of that. It's kind of the COVID edition. Our whole family got COVID and now we're getting over it, which is good because we're right in time for our goat to have babies. What that has meant for us here on the urban homestead has been if there has been something that we have to run outside and do, we just run outside and do it. More like hobble and hack and cough our way outside and do it, but we've made it through. Amanda is still on the road to recovery, so Nathan and I have kind of taken the liberty of coming out and we're spreading out some shavings, some pine shavings and some hay in the pen. It's kind of just been a process that we usually would just do everything all at the same time, but we realized we want to take you along and just kind of fill you in and let you know that real soon we'll be having babies. So anyway, we wanted to bring you along with this because real soon we'll be having babies. Hey look, there's the mother right there. Hi mama. That's lovely. Thank you.
That's timing.
Oh,
Betsy.
that's kind of been the story of the week. Yeah, she's wide. Look at this.
Like
I'm predicting
scratches.
3 little girls. Amanda tells me I'm crazy.
You are.
Nathan says I'm crazy. That's okay. I'm still getting the pen ready for 3 little girls. We'll be, of course, happy with any we get. And we still have like a month and a half till Jane's due. So anyway, we're going to show you real quick what we're working on, and then we're just going to do it. All right, so here we are. What we've done in the goat pen is we have put some wood around the outside so the little shavings don't get out. We're trying to make a nice cushy landing spot for these babies when they're born.
Boom.
Yes, boom, we nailed it. We'll also put straw down on top to kind of keep it all fluffy and easy to clean up post-birth. But that's something exciting we got coming up. We're gonna just finish this up.
Betsy, darling, I think you're a little too wide to fit through there.
I don't understand.
Soon you can come in.
So I just want to pee on it.
I just want to go christen the bedding.
Oh, Betsy!
Betsy.
Betsy's very excited. Oh, she can finally get in. Look at this. Oh, look at this beautiful place.
Okay. I'm just gonna retract her.
What'd you got there? Ooh, animal cookies for the goats.
Jane. No, this is for Jane, Betsy. Now you're gonna go have a good time in this? No, not a good time, a goat time.
I want to go up there.
Come on, Betsy.
What do you think? It's all beautiful and clean.
And see a
Just
hole.
where you want to be, huh? Those of you who don't know with goats, right here on their back, behind their tail, they have ligaments that as they get closer to having their babies, they loosen up to kind of make room for the baby to come out. And right now we're starting to feel that Betsy has less and less ligaments. Like I can feel almost under her tailbone. So usually where this is like hard, pretty soon you'll be able to almost wrap your fingers like this all the way around her tail. So they're still there, but you can kind of feel the difference between the 2 goats. Betsy's like, what are you doing, Nathan?
Good dog, Jane.
All right, well, good job, buddy.
Hey. So, What I'm working on right now is figuring out exactly how many of what peppers I have. So I planted like extra seeds of everything to make sure that I had enough, and some things came up that I wasn't like expecting to come up, so I've got extra plants. And now I have this new container out in the patio, and I've figured out that I can put 10 pepper plants in that one container. So I'm trying to figure out what peppers I have and where they're gonna go. Now I think what I'm gonna do is I'll put all of my shishito peppers and the bulk of my jalapeno peppers, I think, are all gonna go in that new container. Let's see, these containers, these two flats have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kinds of sweet peppers in them. We had a lot of extra violet sparkle peppers come up, but those are actually Audrey's peppers, so she's getting, I think, 3 or 4 of them, and there's like 6, I think. 7. There's 7 of them in there, so I've got some extras. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to keep those myself or give them away. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. And a lot of these peppers are actually flowering in their containers, and you don't want them to do that because when we transplant them, we want them to focus on root development so that they've got a good, strong, healthy system. And some of them had 6 to 8 blossoms on them just in these pots, so we need to pull those off so that they can focus on root development. Obviously not feeling 100%, but stuff still has to be done. The garden season is still gonna keep trudging along, and these plants are getting big. I mean, look at the size of this. It's getting pretty tall. So they need to go out, and they're starting to get a little yellow. They're starting to feel the effects of not being in soil. I can fertilize them, I can try and keep them going, but now that we have warm enough temperatures for them to go outside, I really want to encourage them to be outside. So I'm just figuring out what I have, where it's gonna go, so that I can kind of prepare the plants for transplanting. Now, one thing to consider with peppers is the fact that they will actually be stunted if they are exposed to temperatures below, I think it's 55 degrees. And that usually doesn't mean air temperature, that usually means soil temperature. So I actually went out there with a meat thermometer and stabbed it into my beds and was measuring the temperature of my soil yesterday. And I have one bed that I usually plant my sweet peppers in that is still too cold because it gets more shade. And so the soil temperature in that, I think, was around 50. Whereas in the new container, because it's a metal container, it's absorbing that sunlight, and that soil temperature was like around 72. So we will have to make some adjustments as the summer comes around, and when it's 100 degrees outside, we'll probably want to cover those metal sides to keep it from cooking our plants. But yeah, so now that we have some soil that's ready for peppers, we have some that's not, and then we've got another middle ground bed that's, the temperature was around 60, which is like perfect.
Question for you.
Yes.
Do you garden for fun too?
Yes.
Yes. Audrey, will you show everyone what you're gardening for fun right now? What is that?
We planting, what type of seeds? Chia seeds in a chia container.
Hold that up so everyone can see.
In there.
Baby yogurt. That's our name for the Baby Yoda from the Mandalorian show. I mean, we know that he has a name, but
And
we called him Baby Yogurt throughout the entire show.
And there's seed sprouts.
Yep.
Yep, they're starting to sprout, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Big
All
thank
over.
you to my parents' neighbors, Chris and Amber. They actually
Thanks, Chris and Amber.
gave this to us.
Thank you.
All right, back to school with you.
Yep, back to school with you.
The joys of quarantine, COVID life.
I don't like quarantine.
The problem I'm facing now is that now that I've dragged everything out, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I gotta put it all back. But Now that they're organized, I know how many I have, and I can plan accordingly and start getting them hardened. Yay! Peppers! So we've done a little bit of things in the garden. I've kind of come out and I've been pulling out kale plants as I go. Unfortunately, the kale has been totally infested with aphids, like really bad, except for this dazzling blue kale. The aphids don't seem to like it very much. So I've seen minimal bugs on that, but it is starting to bolt, so it's got to come out. They totally covered the ragged jack kale. They covered, they're all over the 1,000-head kale over there. So the animals have been, the chickens especially, have been thrilled to get these aphid-infested plants. So I've been giving those to them, kind of a plant or two every couple days. But we've gotten a few things out here that are transplanted. We planted the cucumbers and the melons. The cucumbers look like they're suffering a little bit from the intensity of the sun. If I lose them, it's no big deal. I'll probably just go ahead and direct sow them instead of trying to start them from plant starts again. But David, my darling, wonderful husband, came out and planted my melons for me because I have been so laid up and awful with this whole COVID thing. So all my melons are out there, but all the pots are out there next to them so that I know which one is which, because they're all labeled on the pods, but they're not yet labeled in my diagram, so I gotta do that still. But I did come out here and transplant my squash plants are out here. They seem to be doing okay. I've got trays of stuff out here trying to harden today. I do have to have David come out here, Mr. Muscle, and put my tomato trellis up because my restarted tomatoes are doing way better than my stunted, sad little tomatoes that have taken forever to grow. So those need to come out. So that's gonna go here in this bed. Actually, where these trays are right here is where the 3 of the tomato plants are gonna go, and that cattle panel trellis is gonna go right over here.
What you got there, Nathan?
I think it's kale.
And what are you gonna do with it?
Eat it.
Eat it? I thought you were gonna give it to the goats. Oh, you can eat it too.
Yeah, I know.
So from your kale plant out front?
Yeah. Drink. Want it?
Oh no, eat it. You're good.
I know. You can eat it. I know.
He's just showing off his harvest.
Huh?
So he's just showing off his harvest. The goat's like, I want some. Oh me, pick me.
You know, when they say pull up a chair, they usually mean for the person to sit in the chair.
She loves you.
She does. She's a sweet goat. Actually, since I've been sick with this COVID, I was missing my goats, and I knew that sunlight would be good for me, so I actually got a blanket and came out and sat with the goats in the yard and took a nap. I sat out here for like 2 hours, and they laid on the blanket with me and napped with me. It was great. But definitely starting to feel better. Definitely got a long road ahead of me still, but it's gonna be good to get over this thing. It's no joke. Like it's like bad cold. That's what it is. That don't eat my shirt. But we're super excited about Betsy having her babies. You are so in the way. But yeah, she's due in just a few more days. But we're basically in that window now where she can go at any time. So her udder's been filling up. Her ligaments they're still there, but they're starting to soften. So, I mean, I'm not saying that she's impending, but she's definitely getting close. So I'm really glad that we're able to get out here and get the pen ready for her, because that's been really weighing on me this past week that, oh my gosh, she's gonna have babies and we're all laid up and sick and we're not ready. So now we're finally ready and I can rest easy. But and we'll definitely be bringing you guys along when she goes into labor, and we're gonna see all these little baby goats hopping around, and hopefully everything will go smoothly with this delivery, because last year was a scary one, and so I'm a little nervous, but I think that everything's going to be okay. We've been taking really extra special care of Betsy with this pregnancy to make sure we don't get another little dinky baby like we did last year.
I don't know if we've actually officially introduced Nimue to everyone yet. This is Nimue. She is our youngest standard Rex rabbit. Throughout the whole COVID thing, we've brought the bunnies in several times and just had fuzz therapy. They're so soft. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, they're very sweet. Thank you everyone for bearing with us as we're trying to go through this whole COVID thing. I'm in my pajamas. I pretty much haven't left pajamas for the past week. Thank you for your support and watching our channel and subscribing and sharing it with your friends. We hope that you guys stick around for Miss Betsy's kidding here in the next few days, hopefully. As always, this is your urban nerd with a goat herd telling you you can grow where you're planted.